for an animal, there are many things that you're able to look at so that you're able to indicate that if this animal is good for consumption or it's not good for human consumption. So for the liver, we are going to check for the flukes, and majorly this is the liver flukes. So we are going to be able to check this. In case for the kidneys, we are going to check for any infection on the kidneys, because any related infection that is too much on the liver, we are going to have it infecting the kidneys also. So for now, let's check for the flukes and the worms in case they are. So you're able to just separate, and then once you do, able to press this way. Already the first indication is that for this, it doesn't have any flukes. But how can you be so sure of this? You try and press it out, even just using the bare hand, or wipe with a knife. If you can see any eggs, it's just part of the liver. There are no whitish substances, that means they are eggs. So for now, this one is just okay. Then you check on the entrance, just in case they are none. In case we had the liver flukes, there could be whitish substances from the veins in the liver, or the blood capillaries from the liver. But for now, we don't. For the liver flukes and the worms, it doesn't mean that the whole animal is rendered unconsumable. It just means that the liver is not good for consumption, and also serve as an indicator to our ranch that we need to do the deworming, or either way we didn't follow the real procedure of the deworming procedure. So it's just an indicator that either we are good on track or not, or we need to pull up our socks. But for this, it just indicates that in case it has a lot of infested with the flukes, we don't have to consume the liver. We render the liver unconsumable, but for the animal, still okay. The time that we are going to render this animal unconsumable is, let me check the lungs.
Or the lungs also.
Yeah, we have this just for the worms, which is
the lungs
just
will be the one that the lungs is the one that indicates the diseases in the animal.
Yes, that we are not able to consume. Also for the kidney, there is a very good appearance of the kidney. A very healthy kidney should look this color. When it is whole, you can see the coloration of the kidney. But for other animals, in case it had an heavy infection on the liver, we are going to have the change in color of the liver. Either it turns dark, it turns a little bit grayish. This one will serve as an indicator that the animal is not healthy. For the inside of the parts, you have to break it in the middle and be able to check how is the blood flow. This is a normal blood flow. You can see it is a bit small of reddish, but in case it is so red, we are now able to say that there is a problem with the animal, either through the kidneys, so that the kidneys serve as a picture through the liver.
I've also seen sometimes when the animal is sick, we've also sometimes have seen you guys say this one had just been injected. How do you tell that it still has the medication in the system from the liver and the kidney?
Okay, so the liver serves as a place to detox, to detect any kind of medication, and so the kidney, they work in conjunction with the liver. So in case the animal have been recently vaccinated and still has the medication or antibiotics in the system, it means the kidney is breaking the medication. So you're going to be able to see that the kidney doesn't have, number one, the right coloration, because it's overworking, breaking the antibiotic. So there is a difference. The coloration will show you the difference. The other one is the high work rate at the kidney indicates the reddish kind of nature. It means it appears so red. It's breaking the antibiotics, it's breaking the vaccination. So you're able to indicate that this animal was recently vaccinated and has antibiotics. So for that, you asked me the question of the first thing, how we classify the carcass as unconsumable is when it is recently vaccinated. With this one, this is an indicator that that animal we cannot be able to consume. So now we move to the heart also. The coloration should be okay, the normal color, red color. Checking for any kind of infection on the heart in case there are circulatory related infections. We could have had, in case it was infected with any kind of respiratory disease, could have had some mucus lining on the heart, or even some fluid inside the heart. But for now, it doesn't have. And the coloration is just very okay. Finally, it's related to flukes, and also for any circulatory infection disease, any lung disease, we're able to be able to tell from here. Now, the first indicator is what is the texture of the lung. Does it have any kind of mucus on top of the lung or on the sides? That's one thing that you need to check. The second thing, if there is none, now you have to break it inside. So there are some worms that if the whole animal is actually very infested with flukes, some of them are manifested on this side because of the pulmonary infections disease. So you break the lung, just have a pierce. Look if you could see the pus, if it is there for pneumonia related diseases. It doesn't. That's what you have to check. Secondly, if it has some pus from the lungs. Could this animal have had an infection? We could have seen either some foam from the lungs from the pores, or when we press it, we have some whitey substances that come out of the lung. For this case, we do have none. So the lungs are very good for consumption, and we have ruled out any circulatory infection on the disease.
So from there, then the animal then now moves to weighing. Domi, are you done? So this one will move to the tripary, and this one will move to weighing, and then it goes to the cold room. This is for a bit of hours. We normally recommend 72 hours before we process it. We have one that is already been there. Yes. Yes, you're shocked because of 3 days. So what happens in the cold room is called conditioning. What makes meat premium? So what we do is it stays in the, at least for 3 days, so that it breaks down the muscles into meat and it makes the meat more tender. We already have one that is already there for 3 days, and that's what we are going to use for the cats. This one will be processed on Monday for cats. But now we need to wait and then record. So you'll see now how we continue the traceability element. We'll record where it's coming from, what is the weight, and then now it goes to the cold room.
Yeah, this is the last bit, so that once an inspector does the inspection, they have to put the stamp. You're able to get the meat that is actually certified and just good for health consumption. Now you also check for the nodes, the lymph nodes on the side of the neck. So that's why in case you meet a full carcass, you must have to check the cuttings on the neck.
Oh, the cutting on the necks also?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
So that's how you can verify that.